Hey, what's up, dudes? I know this has been a lot of recording lately. It's kind of crazy, but I went out today. I actually went out twice today. I was also kind of disappointed that it's been like 70 in Ohio lately, right? And I forget how to play this game. It's been a minute, but so it's been like it'll do this thing in Ohio where it goes from like 70 to like snow the next day, and it's been really kind of getting on my nerves because I'm like, man, if it's nice out, maybe I'll go start up something in the garage. I'll start getting my stuff together, and then it'll be like 30 and snowing. Like it snowed a lot today. And so I went over to my mom's today because usually, like, I go see my mom on Sundays every so often. Um, and because, if you get a good relationship with your family, I know not everybody does, but, if you do, then it's good to go see him every so often, right? So I go over to my mom's today, mostly because she coaxed me over with pulled pork, which is it's easy. Like I don't understand like people who are like, bro, why don't you come outside more often? Like why don't you offer me food more often? It's usually just that simple. Um, but so I go over, and bruh, it was the weather was terrible. And it's like you would think that people would get like the roads weren't bad, but you would think at a certain point people would just get used to driving in the snow. Also, the amount of people that like didn't have their headlights on and like an almost like whiteout condition was kind of wild to me. But that aside, because I don't go outside very often, so it always surprises me when when people are out there being wild and stuff like that. But I go over to my mom's today, and I like actually forgot. And like halfway through the day, I'm like, oh crap, that's right. I told Ricky that I would, that I would go hang out with her this weekend, and because usually like Ricky is one of the reasons like why I go outside of my house because she'll invite me to go out and do stuff, and so I was like, man, this is gonna suck. Of course, on the day that it is like super crappy out, I have like two things that I have to do. Um, and so today was a day for me. Like I went outside twice, and so by the time I started to head back to my house, I was like, oh crap! Well, I get home, I'm going to let my dog out real quick, and then get back in the car, and then I'm gonna head out. And normally, for me, anyways, like usually I only go like one place, and then I go home, I recharge my social battery. I realized that a little bit ago, like I tested it out, and usually about like 3 hours uh, is about when I personally tend to need to go home. And so today was an excessive amount of outside, but it was all right. I went and saw Kung Fu Panda 4, which I'm going to be real with you. Ricky was like, hey, let's go see this. It's got a late showing. And I'm like, oh, okay. I've only ever watched the first one. To be completely honest with you, I didn't know that there was a second or third one. And to be honest, like, she didn't tell me that it was Kung Fu Panda 4. She just said, hey, there's like a late showing of Kung Fu Panda, right? And I'm like, maybe it's like, a special or something, and like it's an anniversary version of Kung Fu Panda, and I'm like, yeah, whatever, I'll go watch it in theaters. It'll give me, it's whatever, And so I get there, and I'm like, oh, it's Kung Fu Panda 4, and I'm like, huh. And one of the things with like movies for me is I'm like, man, I sure hope that like I'm not like especially like I don't care if I like watch them out of order or whatever, as long as like the story is explained well and I get like the context, like the back context. Like if I don't have to watch like the whole previous movie and like anything that references like the previous movie is like explained well enough that I can kind of still get it. Like that's kind of what I like the most, like with video or with movies and stuff like that. Because then I don't have to worry about like, oh, well, I didn't watch, Kung Fu Panda 2 and 3. I'm going to be completely out of it and I'm not going to know what's going on. I'm not going to have a good time. But thankfully, this movie really wasn't like that. And it was fun. And I think, every so often it's nice to just go see like a fun movie. Um, it's not like my preferred movie genre. Like I'm not running out to see the like newest DreamWorks Pixar, Inside Out movie, which I thought was really funny because they were showing the trailer for the new Inside Out movie, which if you don't know what the Inside Out movie is, it's like, some girls like emotions or whatever, and you could already tell from the beginning when it's like, oh, birthday, blah. I'm like, oh, she's gonna get depression, anxiety, like all this shit's gonna come in, and that was exactly what it was. And I made the joke that Ricky was like the only personality that was inside of Ricky and controlling it, but she was on her phone writing like some dissertation to somebody, and she didn't get it, so I had to tell it to her again, which made it not as funny, but it was still funny to me, even when I told it the second time. So it didn't really matter. It was still pretty funny. But no, like I realized that I do need to get out more in general because, like, just even talking, like to somebody about some stuff like in person is a bit better. um, because like I don't really talk, like if I'm, well, obviously I don't really talk to myself. Yeah, I talk to my dog every so often, but I don't really talk to myself. So unless I'm making like a video or streaming, which, let's be real, I'm not making too many videos these days, but like if I'm not streaming or anything like that, then I just don't really talk. And for me that's kind of weird, just personally, because if you think about it, like, I mean, you guys who follow this channel followed the previous channel, like y'all know I talk from time to time. I do a little bit of talking here and there. I can yap. Although it's actually, you know, it's been rough on stream lately because, well, I don't have as many people, right? And so I've never really been super good at talking about nothing, which I think is one of the biggest things for a streamer is being able to talk about nothing. And like if I don't really have anything to talk about, I just kind of chill until somebody comes in and like asks a question, says hey, then I can be like, oh hey, what's up, dude? How are you doing? How's your day? And then we start a conversation and stuff like that. I think, like, especially for small streamers, which is what I am now, which I think is kind of interesting that even though like, so, if you think back on the days like my height when I was like a 150, 200, 300 sometimes viewer Andy, it was a lot easier to get like people to kind of like yap about stuff. And so whenever I would have those people on, in the chat, it was a lot easier. But I think like a lot of times people don't really get. Oh wait, no, hold on. I had another point. Oh, I was looking at streamer stats, and even though I am now sometimes a single digit viewer streamer, I think it showed me as an average of 9 viewers, which again is kind of sad sometimes. I look back on it and I'm like, man, fallen from grace, brother. Like we used to be pulling hundies. Now sometimes we're not even pulling double digits. But a lot of that comes down to my fault, consistency, what games I'm playing, stuff like that. But I thought it was interesting that even with my poor streaming stats these days, I'm still in the top 2% of streamers worldwide, which is kind of wild if you think about it. That's a whole lot of channels that get less than 9 to 10 people. So um I know like a lot of the people who watch me are lurkers, like Dunmata and stuff like that, or they'll put me on a tab while they're watching like Valky or something playing E7, or or something else, and I always do appreciate it. But I think like a lot of times people underestimate like just the impact that a single talkative yapping homie can have on a streamer and a stream. Because like if you think about it, right? And this probably happens to me a lot, is like people will click on my stream and I'm just vibing, playing, last epoch. Maybe I'm just chilling to some music or something like that. And, I'm not yapping. I don't really have much to yap about. What am I going to be like? Oh, damn, guys. All right, look, another T7 mod. Unless it's the ring that I need. Well, needed. I actually just recently got the ring that I needed. Unless I'm like, unless something specific's going on, or like I'm fighting a boss, like there's not a whole lot of yapping to be done, right? And so I think a lot of times, like just having one yappative homie is really good, because like, okay, so see, I get lost in these, and I should really do this on stream, is just kind of talk about stuff like this. But that only fills up like 11 minutes of content, and then people just, it is what it is. Anyways, um, you click on a stream, and maybe I'm just vibing, I'm just chilling to music, and you see that. But let's say you're new. Let's say you don't know me, anything like that, and I'm just not talking because, well, there's nothing to talk about. We're just kind of chilling, right? And this is also one of the reasons why like I'll watch like Kitchen Nightmares or Forged in Fire and stuff like that while I'm doing stuff like this, because I mean, I don't really have a whole lot to talk about. But anyways, let's say you click on the stream, right? I'm not talking. I'm just playing. You're new here. You don't know me. You don't know like really anything like that. You have to be a follower of the channel in order to even talk, and that's so I can cut down on bots trying to, be like, oh, hey, do you want to buy some viewers, blah blah blah, and it's like, no thanks, I'm good. Um, and so like it's not going to be very entertaining. But like, let's say me and Shinigami are talking about some stuff, or DMK is telling me about like his newest tabletop campaign that he's running, or something along those lines. Maybe you have something to say edgewise. Maybe there's something that you're like, oh shit, I want to. Yeah, I want to talk about that. That's let me chirp in here, or even if you just want to lurk, it's more entertaining, right? Because there's a conversation going on, and I think that like it's really big for for these small streamers to have just like a talkative homie. And so like if you feel, I guess like I don't even know where I was going with all of this, right? I was just rambling. And I think like the big thing is like you will make a streamer's day by being a talkative homie. Like, as much as it like the social interaction like is cool for you too, you know, so this all depends on whether or not like the streamer can capitalize on you being a talkative homie, right? Like, let's be real. There's sometimes like somebody could come in and be like, "Oh, hey, what's up? Blah blah blah. I want to ask this question," and then the streamer's just like, "Yeah," and then either just like kind of ignores it, or just like doesn't really engage with you. Then that streamer, it is what it is, right? Um, but like a lot of times it really just takes like a couple of chatters, to be to really kind of like kick things off, and they appreciate that. I appreciate that a lot. It's like, especially too, like if we're watching Forged in Fire, or like kitchen nightmares, or we're even like just playing the game, right? It's like if we're sitting out here, having some yaps, yapping a little bit. It's not like it doesn't feel like I'm just watching the show by myself with like the number 9 in the corner. It's like I'm watching some anime with the homies. Like don't tell Twitch or Crunchyroll or anything like this, cuz I'll probably get in trouble. But like we were doing Free Run Fridays, which if you haven't watched that anime, you absolutely should. There'll be times where I'm just like, man, you know what I'm gonna do? You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna watch some anime. I'm gonna watch some anime on stream. You want to know why? Because fuck them. That's why. Who cares? I'm gonna watch some shows. I'm gonna watch some movies. I don't care. Ban my channel. I'll just start a new one. Which I do think that like Fridays, I want to do something. For the moment, it'll probably be anime, but I do think that like once it gets nice and I can actually get out in the garage, I want to do forging Fridays, mostly because of the alliteration. I mean, if you've been around for a minute, I love alliteration, dude. Things that just roll off the tongue. Forging Fridays, Friday forging is something along those lines. The double F's, I love it. But I think the weekend was made for the boys. And I like watching shows and reacting to stuff. Like, I do enjoy gaming, but like sometimes reacting to content is good. There's things that I want to watch, and there's things that I want to do, and I can watch shows and play games at the same time. I can. I was gonna say walk and chew gum, but like I don't really chew gum. I'm not a really big gum fan. I'm not a really big walking fan either. I mean, we can see that because, bro, I'm body by Chat GPT. I will say that the one good thing is I haven't put on a lot of weight, but I haven't taken off a lot of weight. I'm like literally in the same spot that I've been in. Like I'm just kind of stuck at like 275. Sometimes I'm like, bro, I haven't like really eaten a whole lot in like a couple of days. And it's like, you're 276. And I'm like, what the fuck? What do you mean I'm 276? That doesn't even make sense. That doesn't even begin to make sense. Why am I two? Anyways, I'm, I digress, right? Um, so, yeah, I don't know. This was just kind of a ramble session. But anyways, Kung Fu Panda 4 was pretty good. I don't think that I like got this. I got the story. I didn't think that I really needed any like context on some stuff. I kind of understood what things were from like the first one. I understood some of the characters. There were a couple characters that I didn't really understand, but I felt like it was a good kind of like maybe standalone uh, show that was good. It was enjoyable. I had a good time. It was overall good, and I think that I was very happy that that I was invited out, and I enjoyed it. But I think I'm gonna go play a little bit more Last Epoch, and I think I'm gonna go to sleep early tonight. I think I need to. I'm gonna have to recharge the outside battery, but I went outside twice today, so that's kind of huge. That's kind of huge for me. But I hope you guys are doing good. I am going to be streaming. I'm gonna try to stream every day, except for Wednesdays, because Wednesdays are my anime date night with Jonas. Unless we're playing a game, in which case I'll stream that. Um, at least like Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. I don't know about the maybe Saturday. I'm gonna have to take like 1 or 2 days off. I'd probably try, but I think I'm gonna start at like 6 or 7 p.m. Eastern. So follow me over there for streams. I want to get back into streaming and come and yap. Anyways, I'll catch you guys later. Have a good night. I'm gonna upload this and then it'll probably come out tomorrow. Um, have a good night, day, whatever it is, and I'll talk to you guys later. Take it easy, homies. Peace out.